welcome to another Clash of the Horns, talking about the Rams and Eagles game. And this is one of the best games I've seen in a long time. I thought it could have been better, especially for the Rams, but I can't be discouraged of the process that I have made throughout the season. And I thought they gave the Eagles a great fight, and I actually thought they overcame many disadvantages throughout the game. So one thing that I really was very impressed about is how this running game was for the Rams. I mean, the Rams are running the ball very well. You saw great blocking. If you guys haven't seen in these games, the offensive line are actually blocking very well. Something that used to be one of the Rams' most probably biggest weakness, other than quarterback, was their offensive line, which is why they were so terrible offensively. Now they have a really great offensive line, and Andrew Whitworth did take kind of like a stumble. You know, he did get hurt a little bit throughout the game, but then he came back and they were okay. Fairly healthy offensive linemen. You saw Todd Gurley just make some big runs, 30 yards, 40 yards, 15, consistently about like 5 yards a carry, and they were looking good running the football. One thing about Sean McVay in this game, one of the reasons why we did lose, I believe, was because of the way that we just don't run the ball, and especially when it's working, and it really makes it feel like, why are we throwing the ball when we don't need to throw the ball? You know, we're just trying to run down the clock. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but then that's when Chris Long came in and stripped the ball from Jared Goff. Those are instances where you really want to go back in time and probably change the play, but the Rams are winning. I think Sean McVay was comfortable with Jared Goff having the football. It's a coaching mistake. We'll live, we'll learn, and we'll move on. One thing as well, something that I really was very impressed about was this Rams defensive line, linebacker core getting after Carson Wentz. Even though some of the stuff that I really didn't like was a lot of those missed opportunities that were later, the Rams paid for them in the air, which, you know, Carson Wentz throwing the ball down the field. But prior to that, the Rams did a good job getting after him, pressuring him. Aaron Donald was all over the place. And one of my criticisms of this game was the fact that the Rams were getting held a lot. And it got to the point where I literally just started laughing and wondering, when are we going to get a flag for holding? You know, the Rams are getting held. There was one instance where Michael Brockers was right about to get a sack, and you saw a clear hold on his collar and jersey right in front of the camera, man, to the point that even the announcers were talking about it. And it got me sick to my stomach, because that's when I thought, okay, either the Rams this game is fixed, or it's really terrible refereeing. I know a lot of people are trying to take the high ground, or trying to take the high road and not say the Rams weren't a problem in this game. I'm not going to say the whole game. I'm saying critical parts of this game where the Rams could have changed the fate of a 3rd and long, where Carson Wentz was about to get sacked. There were many instances when he throws the ball down the field and they go down for about 40 yards, 30 yards. You know, it's 3rd and like 11 or 3rd and 14. And they go down the field because of a hold. So I'm not gonna say that it didn't happen, and then everybody's trying to be like, well, you don't make it an excuse why the Rams lost this game. I thought they did good with many disadvantages that they had. Also, a lot of mess ups, and I'll give them this. I'll give the Eagles this. They did a very good job on one-on-ones against their corners and our safeties, the tight ends with Burton and John Johnson. Don't get me wrong, but there are instances where I'm like, what's going on? I see Samson Ebukam getting held up, Robert Quinn getting held, Michael Brockers getting held, Aaron Donald, and the biggest one was that Michael Brockers hold right in front of the TV screen, clear as day, no flag. And I'm thinking, wow, Jermaine Johnson gets a unsportsmanlike, conduct call over some dumb little play, and that gets a tiny little push, and then they make it a big old thing. Like, all right, dude, now literally you're killing the game for my team. Obviously I'm going to be upset because that's another stupid call against the Rams secondary. Sure, Tremaine Johnson could have done a better job of, keeping his composure, but he made a great play, and that's what these corners and receivers do all the time. They do that all the time. But all right, you're giving it to them, nothing for us. That's just my criticism of these referees. We did lose the game. It is what it is. We have to move on. But some things you just can't, underlook. Like if the Eagles are getting held, like this is one of the things as well. When we lost to the Redskins, they won their turnover battle, and Sean McVay was outcoached by Gruden. I totally accepted that Redskins loss. I even told the Redskins fans, you know what, dude? You guys won that game fair and square. We still got time to grow. Seattle comes into town. They beat us. Does a great job of getting 5 turnovers, even though Cooper Kupp was a reception away, but he didn't make the catch. We lost the game. Took the L. I was cool. Vikings. Defense was phenomenal. Really good. Vikings defense is, probably the best in the NFL right now, other than other teams out there, but I still think Vikings by a long shot are the best defense. We lost that game. I think Nicole Roby-Coleman and Kevin Webster got hurt. We were sort of kind of maintaining the receivers to a minimum, but they forced a good turnover against Cooper Kupp, got the ball, put the ball down the field, got some field goals, got in good field position, got our third, fourth string corner, made a move on Thielen. I think his name is Thielen, made a move on him. Touchdown, and they started scoring like crazy. I took the L, so whatever. This game didn't feel like that. This Eagles game, I felt like we were at disadvantage. Honestly, if you guys want to get my 2 cents, I felt like we were at disadvantage. We still lost. You got to move on. But I didn't feel right about this game. And we were in there too. Like we were coming back from it was 7-24, 7-21. We came back. And after that, it was a shootout. And then eventually they got the turnover. And that was it. And it sucks for Carson Wentz as well. Don't get me wrong. Carson Wentz. I would never, ever hope for an injury like he had, and like Jared Goff as well. I mean, I hope he never gets hurt, or anybody gets hurt. To tell you the truth, I want to beat teams fair and square. That's so I don't feel like the same feeling I'm feeling now, but for a different team. You know what I'm saying? Like it sucks. We did have an opportunity to beat the Eagles even without Carson Wentz, and I'm sure with Carson Wentz, they probably could have scored more. Maybe not. I mean, we did kind of hold them down for a little bit. And then here comes Nick Foles, and does a good job of getting the job done. And we didn't win the game. But the fact that Carson Wentz goes down, I'm not a huge Carson Wentz fan, but I knew that his injury was because of the type of player he is. He's a mobile quarterback. He's a guy that will, and he reminds me of RG3 a lot. Like he had a phenomenal rookie season. He comes in the league. He's a mobile quarterback, can throw down the field, has a good arm. Before he was scared, of getting hurt. Carson Wentz is the same type of guy. In my opinion, I thought people were hating on him because he was from a small school. Man, he's done a great job. It sucks that he got hurt, and it especially sucks that he got hurt playing my team, because I know a lot of Eagles fans are going to be mad at the Rams, because what if this was their, franchise QB, and this ends up being an RG3 type of player now. He's scared of running the football. He gets hurt a lot. It happens again. He messes up his knee again. And then, it sucks, because then we'll be known as that team that injured their quarterback, just like the Panthers or the team that I think either the Browns or the Panthers messed up Sam Bradford, and I was still mad about that. But it sucks that Carson Wentz ended up getting hurt by us. But at the same time, it's like you're risking that type of injury by the type of player you are. And the Rams made a good play. I mean, they're trying to stop you from scoring. You run the ball. I'm sure if we would have gotten, Russell Wilson the same way, or Colin Kaepernick when he was at the Niners, you're running the ball, you're a mobile quarterback, the Rams are going to try to, tackle you. And they did a good job, but at the same time, Carson Wentz got that touchdown. But in the end, he ended up getting hurt. Don't wish any players that type of injury. I'm sure he would have probably got baked up a little, but in the severity of his injury, it sucks. In his season-ending injury. But I thought the Rams kind of held their composure. In the end, it was 37-35. You can't really get back from that. I mean, you only have like a couple of seconds. Doug Peterson did a good job running down the clock. They did a good job going down the field, and we eventually ran out of timeouts. You don't really have many options. I just hope for the best for Sean McVay to really do what works. Like that's what I've been saying on Twitter. Do what works. Do whatever you do with bringing Tavon Austin in and using him as a decoy, or eventually using him on jet sweep or play action and throw him the football and have him run as a running back. Do whatever has been working. Don't do anything cute. Change it up a little bit. Change your looks. But sometimes I feel like he's forcing things down the field with the pass when he should be really running the football. And he does a good job running the ball because he has Tavon Austin right now. Or he has Pharoh Cooper, or whoever. I think I've seen Josh Reynolds take a jet sweep before. So, I mean, they're doing a good job of running the ball against one of the best run defenses, if not the best run defense in the NFL. But then he decides to throw the ball a lot to the point where eventually they're going to get after Jared Goff, and he's going to fumble the football, or he's going to get sacked, or someone might get hurt. It's not really good, man. Just do whatever works, Sean McVay, and you're going to see great results. And that's something that a lot of Rams fans have been saying. Dude, you run the ball well, you're running the ball. Todd Gurley's getting like 5 yards a carry, 6, 7 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry. He's running the ball down their throats, or he's making really good moves. He's having one of his best games, and you end up not using him, and you end up you just literally throw to Cooper Kupp, or you try to throw to Sammy Watkins. I mean, plus you have Tyler Higbee there, but Gerald Everett's more of an aerial threat down the field. I mean, if you're going to throw the football, get the guys that get you the most out of throwing the football, and not just throwing it to Tyler Higbee. He's a good tight end, but if you're going to do what you're going to do, then make sure you put your best players out there for whatever type of offense you're going to do. I'm just saying. Other than that, I mean, the Rams did have a good game, but defensively, it wasn't that really good. I mean, other than the defensive line and Kayvon Webster, I mean, he got hurt, and it sucks. It's a season-ending injury. Kayvon, to me, is one of the hardest working players there, next to Nickell Robey-Coleman, Tremaine Johnson, and what's my dude's name? Aaron Donald, man. Those guys are the workhorses of that defense. And then you see Alec Ogletree and Mark Barron. In my opinion, this 3-4 defense isn't quite Wade Phillips' guys. Like, he inherited a team that had talent. Don't get me wrong, he has Robert Quinn, and he has Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Alec Ogletree, all these guys on defense, but they're not necessarily his type of players. So in the future, I do kind of think that he's eventually going to get his guys in the draft, the free agency, and it's going to work out fine. You just got to give him a year to draft his guys. Literally, this past year was Sean McVay getting up to par with the offense, and then did what he could with Nickell Robey-Coleman and Connor Barwin on defense, and Kayvon Webster, and it's been working okay so far. I heard Connor Barwin's going to be back this week, and maybe Robert Woods. I'm not 100% sure, but they're going to need them against the Seattle Seahawks, and they've done fairly good job on defense. The run D was kind of trash this year. I mean, usually they're really good against the run, and they're still pretty good secondary with the 4-3, but that's because that's the type of personnel we've had, and we're switching that to a 3-4. And I can totally see why the Rams are really good at intercepting the football, because they have a great defensive line, plus the linebacker core and the different looks that Wade Phillips has. But attacking the Eagles, they let a lot of the tight ends open. I mean, Burton had possibly his best game against the Rams defense, and the Rams are known for being good in the air, but Carson Wentz was just dicing these guys in the air, throwing it down to Alshon Jeffrey, and throwing it down to Aguilar, and throwing it down to Burton, who I believe should have been flagged for a unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct, the same way Tremaine Johnson was, especially as scoring a touchdown. But it is what it is. And some of these things, I just feel like it's not justice. You weren't served justice. Like, if you're going to call it for one team, and you got to call it for both. in my opinion. If you're going to referee, don't take favorites, or else you're going to get guys like me complaining about it. But yeah, man, I honestly thought this was a good Rams showing. It wasn't the best game the Rams have ever had, but it shows they have some fight in them, man. So sometimes you think this team could have, withered away, kind of like against the Vikings, but no, they kept pushing. You saw Cooper Kupp make some phenomenal plays, dude. I'm telling you, growing up, loved, and I mean loved, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, because growing up I wanted to be a wide receiver in high school. I played in middle school, but in high school was when I got most of my playing time, and I was very fast, according to all the kids around me, in my high school. And I was like the skinny kid that ran pretty good routes, kind of like Cooper Kupp. Didn't have, the weight to it because I was skinny, but I was like, I'm 5'10", so in a way I had a decent size in high school. I was kind of the taller kids in my high school. And I really wanted to be like Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Now I can see kids looking at Cooper Kupp and being like, wow, I really wish I could be like Cooper Kupp, to be that type of player. Like if I was growing up now, I would be like, yeah, I want to be like Cooper Kupp. Or obviously I want to be like Jared Goff, or I would like to be like Todd Gurley. But as a wide receiver position right now, I think the superstar in our team is Cooper Kupp, and that's mainly because he's one of the best rookie wide receivers this draft. A lot of people looked at him like he was going to be a scrub, right? Because he's from Eastern Washington and he wasn't, a household name in college. So, being that he's really flourished in this Sean McVay offense, it really shows that he's the type of player he was drafted to be. He was one of those sleeper picks, and a lot of people said that, but a lot of people thought he was a bad pick, a bad receiver. But he had a great game this game, man. I'm telling you, he was one of the guys that I feel led this team for that comeback, because we were down like 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, and then here he comes, makes a great catch for a first down, goes down the field for about 30-40 yards, making some moves and just showing some fight, and eventually gets that touchdown. Man, Cooper Kupp's impressive. I really think he's one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. Not just rookies, I'm talking about in the league, especially the slot. He may be like top 3 in the slot category, but we just need to keep it rolling. And it's because you trust this special teams unit by Coach Fossil is just going to be elite. They're one of the best special teams units in the NFL. Pharoh Cooper didn't have a touchdown this game or really much of a ground game when it comes to filling those punts. But defending, like I said, they could have had 2 blocked punts in one game. That's crazy. And that's because he overdid it. If he just would have slowed down a little bit, he would have got that first one. But then the second one was right on the money. I think it was Mike Thomas. My bad. I think Mike Thomas got that block punt. And then the other guy, I forgot, I think it was Littleton or whoever it was, got that touchdown. And that just shifts the momentum, man. I'm telling you, this special teams unit in the playoffs and this offense just keeps it consistently rolling. I mean, just do what works, and this defense just kind of does its best it can just to stop the pass. Now that we have down a cornerback, we should be fine, man. I'm telling you, this Eagles team is good. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like we weren't served justice. I just feel like the referee's a little too one-sided. It is what it is, but I still think the Eagles team was great. They were running the ball very well. Tight ends, Carson Wentz really utilized the tight ends very well to his disposal in one-on-one coverages and stuff. So, I mean, they are what they are because they still have a really good offense. The defense is fairly well. I mean, they did create a turnover, but other than that, it was all Rams defense kind of sucking, and the Eagles defense, they did somewhat okay. But eventually they got that game-winning turnover, and that's all you need. And this sucks, you have to make a video about losing, but it's crazy that I haven't been, haven't made many, because the Rams have still been very consistent, very competitive, and I really don't see them slowing down for the Seattle Seahawks. So I will be making a video for the Seattle Seahawks, and we will be watching that hopefully next day or two, and for sure before the game. And hopefully you guys really leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and make sure you guys really tell me how you guys felt about this game. How did you guys feel? Honestly, I felt like it could have been a better game if it wasn't so one-sided, to tell you the truth. But that's how it feels. You lose and then you feel like bad after, like shit after the game. So I know some of you guys have strong opinions. If you guys haven't already seen me comment on YouTube, or on Twitter, I was pretty upset. But I mean, it's something you have to learn about, and you have to learn. And Sean McVay, I watched him and saw his rage throughout the game, and I know he felt the same way, man. I can tell when a guy feels cheated in a way. But if you look at Sean McVay, most of his responses were very, very mature. Unlike my responses, I'm a little immature, but I can be immature if I want. But Sean McVay has been very mature, man. He's very well-rounded. He's a disciplined, principled head coach, and I'm very proud to have Sean McVay. And it sucks because you see him and he wants the best out of this team and expects the best out of his offense that he's running. And if you guys seen his press conferences, man, this guy is very special. And hopefully we can beat the Seattle Seahawks, get our first division title in about 13, 14 years, and change the tide in history of the NFC West. So hopefully you guys really like this video. Keep up the good work and repping your squad, repping the Mob Squad, the Rams across the globe. And thank you guys outside of the US as well. I know we have some Irish, Scotland, UK Rams fans out there, which is very impressive. Also Germany. I've seen a guy comment on here. He's from Germany and Australia as well. So man, and other than that, you guys, thank you guys for listening. Keep watching Clash of the Horns, and I'm actually working on I actually made my first t-shirt, and I'm working on making a beanie and a hat. So if you guys are really interested, I really want to make really cool ones, like 80s type of style, 90s, early 2000s LA Rams gear, like just Clash of the Horns, and then put design and stuff on it. If you guys are interested, I'm working on that. I will be showing that later on in the off season, after the season is done. And then if you guys would like to, you can ask and purchase them. And if you guys are interested in that, you guys can do that. I'll be making a couple. I'm not going to be making a lot, but I'll be making a couple, and then you guys can buy them and wear them and tell me how you guys feel about them. So that's something I'll be working on in the off season. I already made my shirt. I'm working on making a beanie and a hat. So when I do that, I'll hit you guys up for that. So other than that, you guys, thank you guys for watching. Love this thing we got going on right now. It sucks that we lost, but in a way, where we're at. You know that we are one of the best teams in the NFC. I think we're one of the most well-rounded teams in the NFC, and not only in the in the NFC West. Obviously, we're number one in the NFC West as of right now, but in the whole NFC, I think we were one of the most well-rounded teams. We got a quarterback, a great-minded head coach, defensive coordinator, legend defensive coordinator. I think legend, will be legend, special teams coordinator, Fossil. And then you have a great defense still and offense. So, I mean, this team can go from taking this loss to going all the way to the Super Bowl, or taking this loss and getting the title, going deep into the playoffs. You never know, man. It's still a really good team, and I really have a lot of expectations for this team this year, being that they are 9-4, and hopefully we can take it to Seattle, beat them in Seattle, and change the tide in history starting this year, this week.